I am going to try this again. Let me know if y'all can see or hear me, or if my screen is still hey Kenya, is my screen okay? Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me, Kenya? Is my screen okay? It was freezing up a little bit ago. Hey Jean, can y'all see me and hear me? My screen was freezing up a little bit ago. Okay. Hey Vet. Y'all, I wanted to come and talk to you tonight to have an open discussion about recruiting and the things that I am seeing being a new recruiter, an independent recruiter, recruiting for so many companies. You know, when I did referrals and stuff at KLLM and now at LTI, you know, it was just one company, and you know, you had to be experienced driver and all that kind of stuff. So it really wasn't that many challenges, okay? But now starting a independent recruiting business, I'm working with people, a lot of people that want to get into the industry that have to overcome obstacles as far as their backgrounds is concerned, okay? And what I'm learning as I learn this process and with the different companies that I work with, what I'm learning is that, you know, your background and your past, or if you have a criminal record, you know, it carries you for a long time. You know, it's like people don't want to forgive for things that you may have done 15, 20 years ago. For example, I'm trying to do is trying to make a process a little bit more easier, and just not return phone calls or tell someone no and things like that, because there's a story behind everything, you know. For example, working with someone that has a background that may have had a felony or something that they went to jail for, that happened at the age of 17 years old, okay? And now they're 30 years old, or they're 27 years old, and this happened 10, 15 years ago. These people have already paid their debt to society by being locked up for 7, 10, 15 years. And now when they come out and they try to make a difference and do the right thing, is they're labeled as, you know, somebody that they don't want to give the opportunity to go to school. You know, it's not even giving them the job yet. It's just giving them the opportunity to say, we're going to put you in this class to see how you do, get a permit, get a CDL, and get out on the road. You know, what we do, it doesn't require you to have a degree, okay? It doesn't require you to have a degree. This is general labor that we do. You know, it's not something you got to go to college or anything else like that. And I feel like it's a struggle and it's a fight, okay? Because, and y'all don't realize how hard it is sometimes. And I'm just now figuring this out. And y'all come to me, y'all have a reason why you come to me. And first of all, I appreciate it because you open up and you talk about things that you would not normally talk to with anybody on the phone that you don't know, okay? And I realize that you speak to me and you talk to me and you tell me your issues and some of the things that you've dealt with in your past, because you see me on, you know, camera. You see me out here working. You see me doing the things that, you know, you may want to do. All you need is that opportunity, and I feel like that I'm looked at as that window of opportunity for you. And I want to say, I don't know why God gave me this. I don't know why he gave me this to pursue being an independent recruiter instead of going to get my authority or doing my broker or whatever. Because it's like when I became an independent recruiter and I started recruiting for these companies, it's like, y'all, that number is going every day. That number is going every day. And I'm getting those calls that people don't want to work with. I'm getting the calls of, you know, this is my story. This is my background. This is what happened to me. Can you help me? Okay. And yes, I get people that slam the door in your face and won't even, you know, give you an opportunity. First of all, what I ask is that be upfront and honest with me so we can come up with a plan on how we're going to attack the situation, so you're not looked at and you're not labeled of being, you know, a repetitive, or what is it, a repeat offender or something like that. I love people honesty when they made a mistake in their early years, and now 20 years later they realize what it is and they can, you know, explain it and say this is what it is, you know. For example, let me give you an example. I'm not going to put anybody's business out there. When you talk to me, it's on a confidentiality level. I'm not going to put your business out there because you share something with me you probably won't want anybody else to know, okay? But I have to know these things in order to be able to help you reach the goal that you're trying to reach, okay? So, for example, you know, you have somebody that's 17 years old, have their whole life ahead of them, and they're heading to college. They're going to pursue a career. They may be, you know, a star athlete or anything like that. And they get caught up in a sexual assault case, okay, at the age of 17. Okay, so now you're looking at a felony. You don't want to, and you really don't know how to fight. You don't know how to fight for your innocence at the age of 17. And I feel like so many people throw us away as African American men. Okay, they don't look at you the same. They just don't, they put you in a cell and they throw away the key. Okay, and you sitting there for 10, 15 years, okay, over something that is serious, you know, but you really didn't know what was going on at that time, at that age, okay? Because I feel like men and women mature at a different level, okay? At the age of 17, I was on my own, working 2 jobs, had a car, living in my own house, okay? At the age of 17 of my first husband, it wasn't like that. He didn't have no job. He wasn't living at home. So men tend to mature, I feel, at a later age than what women do. And what I'm trying to say is that with my sons, I have 26, 20 years old. Right now, I can see my son is making the same mistake as maybe one of y'all have made in your past, okay, at that age. And it's because right now he truly doesn't understand that the decisions that he makes right now will affect him. It could affect him for the rest of his life. You go to jail, you get accused of a charge, that's going to carry with you. And maybe you grow up when you get to 25, or you grow up when you get to 30, or whatever the case may be, but it's always there. You're going to have to explain that away, you know. And my fight is, for example, I sent the application over to a company with someone that had an issue at the age of 17. They're now 35 or 40 years old, and it's like 10, 15 years ago, and they're married, they got kids, they're living their life, but they want to pursue a career in trucking, and it's like the door is automatically slammed in your face before you even get a chance to explain yourself. So one company says automatically turned down, they don't want to talk. But another company says, you know, I want to talk to them, and I want to give them an opportunity to explain the situation of what happened. You see what I'm saying? So at that time, I give them a call and say, look, we got to be upfront. We got to be honest. You got to explain to people that this happened when you was a teenager, or this happened at this point in time. Let people know that how you moved on, how you tried to better yourself, because you're being interviewed for getting your CDL, okay? So you got to be able to take those things seriously if you are really, really wanting to get into this industry. Not everybody is going to just open the door and say, okay, he did the crime, he did the time, so we forgive him and we're just going to move on. It's not going to happen like that. Your road in trucking is going to be a kind of like a difficult one. There's people in this industry right now that have felonies and things against them, and they're driving right now. They working and doing what they have to do, but the struggle is still there because they may be a company that they really want to go to and is really paying good money, and they can't because of something that they done 15, 20 years ago. So they're stuck at a company that may not be the greatest of pay, okay, may not have the greatest of benefits. So it's like you continue to have to fight on an individual level, and it's like I don't feel like there's nobody really out here trying to fight for you, you know, trying to say the past is the past. Give people these second chances and pay them the same as you would pay anybody else. You know, some people feel like because you have a past or because you have a criminal record that you don't deserve to get paid the same as anybody else that doesn't have that record. So you got to fight for that. They'll start you off at, maybe if you went to one of the better schools or the better companies, you get started off at 45 cents, 50 cents a mile, or whatever the case may be. But if you got a criminal record and you can't start at those companies, you got companies that will pay you 25 cents a mile. You know, you drive the same. You know, as far as your driving record is concerned, it's clean, it's good, nothing's going on with that. But as far as your criminal record is concerned, you're going to get paid 25, 32 cents, 38, 30 cents, or whatever the case may be, because, you know, they figure that you can't go nowhere else. So you're going to have to stay here, and I can pay you whatever it is that I want to pay you. I can make you run as much as I want to make you run, and there's really not anything that you can do about it because ain't nobody else going to take you, okay? So then you are caught up in a situation where where do you go from there? You can't grow. You still have this label on you. What I recommend is that when you get in this industry and you know that you have something against you that you just can't pick up and just move from this company to that company or whatever the case may be, at that time, when you get the opportunity to get in this industry, that's the time you need to start saving your money for your own truck and your own stuff, okay? Because once you have your own, can't nobody take that away from you but you, okay? So when you get in here and you figure out that, you know, every time you go to try to apply at maybe a good company with great benefits and you really want to work there and you're not able to because they won't give you the opportunity because of your record, then that's the time that you need to sit down and take a look and say, look, if I'm going to make it in this industry, if I'm going to be successful in this industry, maybe I want to look at being my own boss, creating my own way. Okay, and that comes with, you know, just discipline, saving your money, and knowing that the odds are stacked against you, but you're a whole lot better off than what you were before you even got into the industry. But it's like you got to be able to have a plan, and you got to be able to grow out here. You know, I just did not realize, y'all, that being I'm like blind. You know, I have blinders on sometimes, and I don't realize the reality and how difficult it is for people. I thought I would jump into recruiting and, you know, I'm just going to be putting drivers here, putting drivers there. It's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. Now, experience, let me tell you the difference, y'all. This is funny. let me tell y'all the difference between experienced drivers and drivers without CDLs, okay? Experienced drivers, veteran drivers, they know what they want. You can't BS them. You can't sell them a load of sand on the beach. You can't do that to them, okay? You can't sit up there and run game on experienced and veteran drivers. They're going to tell you, look, Tamara, I don't want to be OTR. I want local. I want to go by the house 2-3 times a week. I want weekends off. I need benefits. I'm not driving 18 speed. I want an automatic. I need a brand new truck. I want to do lease purchase, and I need to make about $2,000 to $2,500 a week. You know, it's just amazing. They already know what they want. You know, you can't tell them. And a lot of times they've been to a lot of these companies, okay? They know what they want. They know if they want percentage. They know if they, can work with cents per mile. A lot of the experienced drivers know their numbers to know before they even go to that company if it's going to work for them. That's the difference on experience. And also with my experienced drivers, you got to call them within 24 hours. You can't mess around with them. When they call me and they tell me, look, I'm looking for a new company that I need to go to, whether it's company driving or lease purchase, I got to be on that within 24 hours, okay? I have to have the applications in within 24 hours, because not next Monday, they will be in somebody's orientation, okay, if I do not respond. Another thing, but with new drivers, not new drivers, but people that's getting in the industry that really don't even know, do they want drive-in? Do they want reefer? Do they want OTR? They don't even know what OTR is, okay? So you can really, you have to really streamline it for them, because they don't know what it is that they're looking for. They don't know anything about cents per mile. They don't know anything about percentage. They don't know anything about leasing a truck. They don't know anything about that. So you can't throw all of that on them at one time, because they will get overwhelmed and they will be very confused, okay? So what I try to do with a person that never drove a truck before, that is interested in getting a CDL, it's just to get you to a place, especially when your options are limited, okay? When your options are limited, it's to get you to a place where you can get that license and get that experience, okay? And that's to get them to understand. A lot of times I'm getting these new drivers, they're saying, I don't want to go to CR England, I don't want to go to CRST, I don't want to go to Swift, I don't want to go to any company, Warner, I don't want to go to Pam, I don't want to go to none of them. I want to go to this company over here, okay? Because I heard that they are the best company. But what you don't realize is you may not have the best record or the best credentials to go to that company, or it may not even be in your area to go. You may be in California and they only run 16 states, okay? So that's what I mean when I say, no you don't. But that's what I mean when I say you get your experience, get your foot in the door. Some of us are even cutting ourselves off before we even went to orientation. Okay, you telling me what you ain't gonna do, where you ain't gonna go, this, that, and the third. As you know, I went to CR England. Okay, it didn't work out for me at CR England, but that CR England at the time was my only choice. I didn't have a lot of choices. I could not go to Swift because I didn't know nothing about truck driving, and I couldn't get a permit. I didn't know how to get a permit. I didn't know nothing. I didn't even know how to study for a permit. It did not make sense to me. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to get a permit while I was at home. Okay. So, I tried to go to Warner. I tried to go to all these other places. The only people that opened their doors for me was CR England. And baby, I got on that bus and I headed to Salt Lake City from Biloxi, Mississippi, not even knowing what to expect. Did I go through a lot of things there? Yes, because I was not prepared. I didn't have money. Okay, I didn't have any money. How was I going to eat every day? I was borrowing money. I was getting people to wire me money. Okay, I didn't plan for the unexpected, and the unexpected was I got sick. I didn't plan for getting sick. Okay, I didn't plan that I wasn't going to pass the permit the first try. Okay, so it was a little bit harder. Tamika said Swift was trained me way better than KLLM. See, people have their different experience. KLLM is, to me, was the best company. Why was it the best company for me? It was the best company for me because that's where I got my permit. That's where I got my CDL. That's where I got my training. Okay. So that's why it was good for me, but it may not be good for you. So you have to look at all your options and you have to weigh them out to see, look, can I go through this for a temporary period of time until I'm able to transition to somebody else, somewhere else? A lot of times we try to run before we walk. We try to walk before we crawl. You know, you got to start at the beginning. You, like anybody else. We all did. We all grow. People that's been in this industry for 10, 15 years have grown. We all not at the, some of us may be at the same company, but most of us are not. You know, we went there, we did what we had to do, and we moved on, and we made it work for us. Okay, so you got to always look at number one. What can I do to make this work for me? Okay, my behind was sit back home for CR England. Wasn't because of lack of trying, because I got sick. They're not going to wait on me 2 weeks while I'm in the hospital to wait on, you know, Tamara Brock to come back to school and finish. I didn't pick it up. Okay, I have to take responsibility for that because I wasn't able to shift. I couldn't do it. Everybody else got it really easy, and for me, it was really hard, okay? But when I went over to KLLM, hey, I was a little bit more familiar because of the things that I learned at CR England that made it a little bit easier for me at KLLM. Was it still hard? Yes, it was still hard. It was still hard. You have no money. When people come to me and they're putting in an application to go to CDL school, these people are not making over $100,000 a year, decide that they just want to quit their job tomorrow and go to trucking school, okay? A lot of times when y'all call me, we need something quick. We need to make some income. We need to make some money. And my choices are limited. And this is a way that I figured out that, y'all gotta excuse me, it's hot, okay? This is a way that I figured out that I can get a license, get training, and maybe get some income, you know, without going to school for 4 years, without going to school for 6 months, 3 weeks. After you get your license, you are on the truck with a trainer making an income. Is it a lot of money? No, $500 a week. Is that a lot? It's not a lot at all, but it's more than what I had, okay? It's more than what I had. When you have zero income and you on food stamps, $500 a week is pretty good. The other issue that I'm running into with recruiting is I got people that don't want to be on the system no more. Okay, I got people that want to make an income, that don't want to be on food stamps, that don't want to be on assistance. They ready to get out here and get off the system and go to work. Guess what the problem that I'm having with them? No work experience. Okay, so they gotta work. They gotta be working for 3 years before you can go to school. So they don't have any work experience. So they get turned down because of their work experience. So it's like a catch-22. How do you transition from being on the system, getting a check every month, receiving assistance, to finally saying, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to create my own income or work, or, you know, have steady income coming in, but nobody won't give me a chance because I've been out of work for 3 years, or I don't have a steady 3-year of employment history. Okay, so you run into some of those situations that you got to deal with, and if you're not in school and you can't produce a tax return saying that you've been self-employed over the past 3 years, a lot of companies won't take you. They will tell you that you have to get 3 years worth of verifiable verifiable work history. Okay. And this is what I did. Because I was self-employed at the time. That's the only reason why CR England took me. I had to bring my tax returns to show them that I had income coming in for the last 3 years, okay? Because I didn't work for anybody. And when I was on the system receiving food stamps, I had to, because this is the thing, you can't work. Like when you, with the food stamps, you have to work. And if you don't work, you either got to volunteer somewhere, or you got to go to school, or you got to do something. So in order for me to get my assistance, my food stamps, I had to go and request for me to go to CDL school. And they let me still go to CDL school and receive assistance, okay, until I started getting income. And every week, the director of KLL, the school, had to sign my food stamp slip, you know, to say that you was in class and you was working. I was, I think, one of the first people that came up with the idea in my area to request to go to CDL school. Instead of going to like a regular college or a work program or anything like that, I requested to go to CDL school, and they allowed me to do that. Now, once I was up there in CDL school for 2 weeks, they cut me off. Okay. And the reason why I still wasn't getting an income, but the reason why they cut me off was Miss Tamara forgot to send in the paperwork, didn't get to them in time. Okay. So they cut me off. So it was like, I couldn't go back. That's it. I didn't have any food stamps. I didn't have any money coming in. That's all I had to do, you know? So it is a difficult task of transitioning from not having an income, being at school with no money and things like that, and then trying to create an income. And I remember a lot of people made fun at me when I first came out and I was working at KLLM and I started doing videos, and I was so happy because I was making like $1,500 a week, $1,000 a week, and everybody was like, that ain't no money, da 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 da. But I was new, y'all. People didn't even realize, well, they realized that I was new, but I was just so ecstatic of going to a school for 3 weeks, having a CDL, going out for training for 4 weeks, and I'm making $1,500 a week, $1,000 a week. Where you do that at? You know, without going to a 4-year college or a 2-year college or getting some kind of degree. Where you do that at? Or you not selling drugs on the street? Where you making $1,000 a week with no education? Okay, where you making $1,500 a week with no other education? Okay, and my age had something to do with it as well, because now at the age of 46, you dealing with, and I went to school, okay, but everybody wasn't opening the door for me to get a job where I was. You had to compete with people that was just getting out of college. Okay, you be mindful, I got out of school 20 years ago. Okay, so when I came into this industry, this was like I felt like my doors was closing. That's what I felt like when I got into trucking. I felt like all the doors, all the opportunities were starting to close up, and I had to come up with something to get an income for myself and my husband at the time. Okay, so he didn't even realize, y'all don't even know this, but when we decided to go, because y'all know me and my husband went to CDL school together, okay, so we wasn't even together. I don't think he mind me sharing this with y'all, but we wasn't even together before we got to CDL school, because the financial burden that our marriage had took separated us. Okay, it was like I looked at him being the man of the house, and he wasn't able to be able to replace our income like that. You know, he's the same age as me, and we both out there trying to hustle and make money and trying to provide for the family and able to keep our house. My house note was $1,500 a month. That's besides my car notes, my insurance, food for the house, lights, water, gas. That's just to stay in there. Okay? So he wasn't getting a job quick as I wanted him to get a job. I wasn't getting, income quick as I thought I would be. And it began to tear the relationship and the marriage apart, even to the place that we was not even like living together. Okay, I had went down to stay in Biloxi, and he wasn't even in the home. But I said, you know what? I got to come up with a way for both of us to win. So he didn't even know that I applied for CDL school. I applied for CDL school for myself and for him. I did the application for him and myself. And what happened was we both got approved, and I had to somehow text him or send him a message or ask him to give me a call. And I said, look, I got you approved at CDL school. This is an opportunity where you can get your license and have an income within 3 weeks. I got a bus ticket. Either you meet me at the bus station and we go on this together, or I'm going by myself. Okay, this was like 2 days before I was getting ready to go. Okay, so that's how much strain it had created on the relationship. But we went down there to the bus station, gave him his ticket, my ticket, and we both got on that bus together. And it was the best thing that we could have ever did for ourselves. The best thing that we could have ever did for ourselves, because eventually you're going to start getting, I felt like depression would start setting in. Then you start looking to cope with that depression by either using drugs or being depressed or alcohol or anything like that, because you're going through a crisis. Okay, so the only way that I felt like I could get out that situation was to leave and go out there to Salt Lake City, Utah. And for a person that is from the South and somebody sends me to Salt Lake City, Utah, y'all, I did not know where I was going and what I was getting myself into at all. When I got there, the best thing was that, how long I've been on here? Oh Lord, I don't even know. But the best thing was that we was able to stay in the same room together. Okay, because up there, if you're a female by yourself, you have to be in a room with like 8, 9 other people. But we was able to stay in a room. We had 2 separate little bunk beds and a little closet thing, and that was it. And we was buying our food from Walmart. We put our food in the refrigerator. Y'all, we had went grocery shopping. Somebody had sent us some money to go grocery shopping so we could have some food to eat for while we was in CDL school. And we had put all our stuff in the refrigerator. How about we woke up the next morning and all our food was gone? And we didn't have no money. All the food was gone. And they couldn't put... they didn't know on camera or anything else about, who took our food. So we was constantly borrowing money from friends and family to even stay up there in school. We got up there in school, okay? They had to send off for our marriage license. We had no money to pay for that. CR England paid for to get a copy of my marriage license, okay? CR England paid for my husband's ticket. He had a $300 ticket that they was going to send him home until it was paid. He didn't even know about it. It was like 10, 15 years ago. He didn't even know about it. They paid that $300 for him for that ticket, okay, that he had in Maryland, okay. It was something else that came up that CR England paid for, okay, because we was a team and they needed teams, and anything that came up in our background, our record, or whatever the case may be, they paid for it. And it just so happened he got his permit before I got mine. And you talking about somebody that was up there depressed because I couldn't get it. And then they have like a remedial class, because if you don't get it the first week that everybody else get it, you go to like the GED class. You go to like a remedial class where they give you an extra week to try to learn and take the permit. Okay. So when I tell y'all it's a struggle, and I can sit back and smile now because it was worth it. Okay. It was worth it. It was hard, but to me, it was worth it. I'm getting ready to start up my truck with all my stuff in it, and I'm driving to Minnesota. I'm taking a late night drive to Minnesota, okay? And I'm getting paid for it. So it was well worth the struggle and what I did. Y'all know I can't see. But yeah, that is how I started. That is how I got to where I am today. And with me doing recruiting, I do want to also let y'all know that I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to fight for you, and my job is to get my foot in the door and network with these people that make the decisions on you being able to come to that school or not to come to that school. Because if I can get my foot in the door and talk to somebody and say, look, this is what happened 15 years ago. You know, this person has changed from that. Some people don't even get that opportunity to explain themselves. Some people don't even get the opportunity to say that, you know, I got a family now. I'm married now. I got more, you know, commitments that I want to have out my life now. You know, so, but I love what I'm doing, y'all. I wanted to let y'all know that I love what I'm doing. I'm getting calls from all over the United States of people that are wanting to do this, and I do expect it to grow. And what I think that I'm going to do, because some of y'all have inboxed me about recruiting, what I think I'm gonna do is, once I get to a place where I am overwhelmed of calls coming in and I'm not able to answer them and things like that, we're going to develop a team. And we're going to get a team. And I want when I develop this team, I want this team to be a team of go-getters. I'm talking about on the phone, on talking to you, getting back in touch with you, making sure that, you know, if you get denied at one place, we're going to try you at this place. We're going to try you at 4 or 5 different places, and we not going to take no for an answer. These people deserve second chances. They deserve to be able to get the opportunity to pursue a career out here, okay? So, and y'all are cracking me up. Y'all, some of y'all are cracking me up, Lord. And I just want to, you know, end on a light note. Somebody called me and said, Miss Tamara, I got some charges, Miss Tamara. I got some charges. I said, okay, what the charges is? They got me from escape. They said I escaped from prison, Miss Tamara, but I ain't escaped from prison. I just didn't show up. I showed up like 2 days to the halfway house late. I showed up 2 days to the halfway house late. So they put it on my record that I escaped from prison. But it wasn't like that, Miss Tamara. I ain't do that. They make it seem a whole lot worse than, and they do. On paper, they make you seem a whole lot worse than what you really are, okay? And then I got a call. Somebody said, Miss Tamara. I said, okay, what's the charge? What is it? Armed robbery, Miss Tamara. Armed robbery. But Miss Tamara, the gun wasn't loaded. I had the gun, but the gun wasn't loaded. It had no bullets in it or nothing. I wasn't gonna kill nobody. I wasn't gonna. Child, I be hollering. But these are things people have done, and y'all know. Everybody has done something stupid and crazy one time in their life or another. I was talking with a guy, and I said, what made you get into trucking? And he told me or whatever. And I said, well, what did you do before you got into trucking? He said, well, Miss Tamara, I was locked up for 20 years. I said, oh, okay. You know, and me, y'all, I'm like mama. I'm like your auntie. I'm like, you know, I'm going to ask the questions. I don't care. You know, tell me. You're not going to shock me. You're not going to surprise me. I'm not going to judge you. I don't care. Okay? He said, and people sometimes feel like real open to talk to me about stuff, okay? And sometimes they share stuff with me. I really don't want to know. I was just playing. I didn't want to know all that, you know? But he said, I I robbed the bank. I said, what? You robbed the bank? Yeah. I said, well, what made you rob a bank? He said, that's where the money at, Miss Tamara. Where you go get the money at? The money is at the bank. So I went up in there to go get the money. I said, Lord have mercy. How old was you when you did all this? I was about 17, 18. You know, that's where, as parents, sometimes we lack. You know, does it have to do with, you know, the fathers not being in the home for them sons when they're at that age of making decisions of being wrong and right? You see what I'm saying? You know, sometimes these kids are left alone that they have to fend for themselves, you know, and when they're left alone and they have to fend for themselves at an early age, and then when they don't have the mindset to learn to know what's right and what's wrong, a lot of times they make the wrong decision and they get themselves in a situation that they have to pay for the rest of their lives, you know. And I just want to be an advocate for second chances. I want to be an advocate of somebody, if you make a mistake in your life at an early age and you change your life around and you doing better and you doing the things that you need to do to provide for your family and your kids, I think that should be forgiven. I don't think we need to talk about that for the rest of your life. Okay, I really do. I really think at that point in time, if you paid your debt to society and you did whatever it is that you had to do, why are we still talking about it 20 years later? 20 years later, you're a different person. I'm not the same. I'm not the same as I was when I was 17 years old, you know. But a lot of people that are in these hiring positions are closed-minded. You know, they didn't have that struggle. Maybe they was raised up in a household where they had a mother and a father. They had the discipline. They had somebody that was there for them, you know, so they don't even understand how it is to be without, how it is to, you know,